What do you think? Let's do this thing. What's my job here? Make the video?
Look pretty.
I'll try.
There you go. You're the bucket lady.
This corner got a little shredded this year.
I've actually got a replacement
Oh, really?
shade cloth. I just didn't swap them out in the middle of the summer.
I bet we could do something with this one.
Yeah,
It's still
gnarly.
Yeah, it's real messed up on this side. It's not great for the greenhouse, but it's still big enough to be used for something. Hey guys, welcome back to Roots Refuge. Maya turned all the water off a little while ago because it's gonna freeze this evening, and it's late afternoon right now. And the cows, we have these automatic floats that cause the troughs to fill back up, and the cows already drank half of that one. So since we're out here, we're filling it back up. Turn it off before we go back in. Oh look, the hollyhocks are kind of trying to grow back a little bit. I was noticing there are multiple little strawberry plants popping up that are looking nice and green and happy out here. Wouldn't mind if strawberries took over in this space. I've abandoned my post as bucket lady. I'm going in here. So I came out last night, made sure that the heater was on. It got pretty cold, but now we're starting to get even more cold. I'm gonna run the little heater. Today is very gray. So we're taking the shade cloth off of the greenhouse. We've left it on over the winter because there's no reason not to. With the shade cloth off, it can get intensely hot in here, even if it's cold outside, if the sun is shining. So I'll have to make sure my fans are on, weirdly, even if it's very cold outside. And the fans are hooked up to a sensor, so they kick on at a certain temperature. So we'll just have to make sure those are on. I won't need them on today because it's overcast. It's not gonna get super hot in here. All that's planted out here right now is frost hardy stuff, but considering these seedlings are so wee, like these tiny broccolis that are very new. Some of them are a few days old, a week old, but some of them are just barely coming up. And I don't want them to freeze hard. I'd rather protect them if possible, hence the heater. So it's right around 60 Fahrenheit, 16 Celsius, but outside it's like 45 Fahrenheit, like 6 Celsius. So even on a gray day, it's definitely a lot warmer in here. My main thing for taking the shade cloth off is I want my plants to have more light. I have had multiple people ask if I think that it could potentially be that my greenhouse is black, that I've had issues with my plants getting a little leggier and different things, and I'm actually willing to consider that. I'm gonna see how it goes this season with the shade cloth being off. Last year I didn't take it off in time, and I tried to start all my seedlings with it on because I was thinking more about temperature control, and they were really stunted. So this year I'm gonna see, and if it is indeed the color of the greenhouse, I suppose we'll paint it. That would break my heart, but I'll do what I have to do for my seedlings. This morning was slushy and maybe a little sleety. It was cold and gross. And so I took advantage of the quiet day of my kids being at school, and there was nobody here today, and I did lots of computer work lying in my bed in my comfy pants, and it was glorious. So if I seem a little draggy right now, it's because in the middle of the afternoon I went and got my kids from school and like emerged from the womb of my house for the first time all day. You know what I saw the other day looking out the window in the greenhouse, Maya?
What?
This iris is getting ready to bloom. Isn't that crazy? I wonder if this cold freeze will stop that.
Slow it down.
Yeah. I like how I said we were taking off the shade cloth. I'm here for emotional support.
There you go. What the worst case holding the seed.
I got it.
Oh God! You're gonna fall over. It's always so strange when I can actually see the roof of the greenhouse. The shade cloth stays on for what, like 8 months out of the year? What's wild, and it's not gonna happen today because it's not super sunny, but when you take the shade cloth off and it is sunny, this thing will heat up 10 or 20 degrees in like minutes. It's wild. Is this overwhelming you, this space? Because I love it, even though I know it's kind of a mess right now.
It's an eclectic mess, but it's not my space.
Me too. I am too. I feel like I relate to that statement. I identify with that.
We're gonna have to clean up some of your eclecticness in order to have my workspace, so.
You're doing that tomorrow. I can help you.
I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna go ahead and run the water before I start building the table, just so I'm not working around the table.
I think since we had to take the shade cloth off, working over the next week will be a good idea whenever it's cold, or else you would be miserable. I will love it.
You would love the cold?
No, I will love it when it's 100 degrees in here. I'll just come in here and put on a tank top and incubate. Our biggest marital dispute is
100%
over temperature every single time. I would say out of all of
when we used to have marital disputes, it was over temperature.
I'm saying historically. Jeremiah has conceded to letting me keep the house warmer than it's comfortable for him.
I've considered just being a baked potato all the time.
Yeah.
You can stick a fork in me, I'm pretty soft.
Hey, but the alternative of that is having a wife wearing 18 layers of clothes. So you weighed the cost, you considered it, and you said worth it. That's why you. I would keep our house warmer if it weren't for you. I would just bake myself.
I do get a little bit of like vindication when you come into my office and it's 40 degrees out and it's like 55 in my office and I'm in there working and you walk in, you're like, ooh, cold. I'm like, yes. Yes, it is. Welcome to my domain. I'm like super comfortable, loving it.
As it is right now. When our house feels too cold for me and I know I've pushed it to your limit, I come out here and incubate. And now I can do that more with the shade cloth off.
Yeah, I'm also going to see what the power requirements are for that shop heater.
Yeah, as long as it makes sense. This little radiant oil heater does okay, but when it's really cold and this...
It would be something that like...
It'd be for like a really freezing nights.
Yeah, you would turn it on and get it up to temperature and then shut it off.
Right.
Like you wouldn't want it running. I'm sure it's louder.
Currently in my greenhouse I just have this little radiant heater. And I like these because they have a lower risk of fire. Especially where there's cobwebs and insects and stuff like that because it's all closed up. But when we have plants here and across the way, this kind of heats this general area, so it's fine right now. But when this is full, if we do have a cold snap, especially once we have frost tender things out here, we'll just have to, last year I had to take plants inside because it's not worth the risk, and this wasn't.
If I can get that big heater set up out here, you won't have to do that.
Yeah. I do feel really excited at the prospect of this being finished.
It's not going to be very much.
Yeah, you don't think so?
No, I mean...
Feels like a lot to me because it's not stuff I know how to do. Things you don't know how to do always feel unsurmountable.
Yeah, you've never run plumbing, so...
No.
Or built a table.
No, I haven't.
Try and identify any other spaces that are losing massive amounts of heat to try and block it off. I'm kind of thinking, like I said, I think it might be the single pane plexiglass gables. I'm thinking about running another sheet of plexiglass over the top of that trim, which would give it an insulation barrier between the cold glass or the cold plexiglass and then the heated one, which is how double pane windows work.
Nice.
So that might help. Of course, I could...
All the windows are double, right? Yeah. This is a great greenhouse, sweet Maya.
You're welcome.
I have a lot of seeds that I want to start, but I have been holding back so that Maya can work. So we have those trays of brassicas started, and that's probably enough, and I can direct sow some things. I'm mostly just excited, but it's probably better that I don't start a ton of cold weather seeds, because in like less than 4 weeks, I'll be starting my warm weather seeds. I mean, who's counting, right? It's me, I'm counting. Literally counting down. I keep looking. February 15th is my normal start seeds day, which is roughly 6 weeks before the estimated last frost here where I am in the Midlands of South Carolina. In the past, sometimes I'll start my peppers 2 weeks before that because they can take a little while to germinate, and I may still do that. Which would mean I could start seeds in 2 weeks. It depends on Maya's progress. I try to hold my plans loosely, especially when we have so much going on, because sometimes projects just take longer than we anticipate. Such is life, right? Before too long, I'll be out here harvesting some asparagus. Whew. So our little impromptu solution for our doors being busted out was these heavy moving blankets, and we're actually going to be looking into some different options because these have kept more heat in than the screen doors we had. So this is why we just left them, because they're working so well. Some lovely little broccoli starting. Beautiful cabbages. I have had a little bit of an issue with this breed of cauliflower this year. This is called Snowball. It's just like a basic white cauliflower, and every one of the heads has just shriveled up to mush, and it looks like frost damage, but there's not any apparent damage on the leaves. And it starts like this, where I have a cauliflower, and then it starts to get a couple little spots. Like you can see, this one has these 2 little spots, and then it starts to just shrivel up and turn to mush. Other varieties have been fine, but this particular variety did this, and I'm pretty certain these were ones that I bought started plants, because I know we started our purple cauliflower from seed, and then now we have a lot of purple and a lot of the orange tangerine cauliflower. Those we started, and then I've got Romanesco cauliflower, broccoli, whichever one it is, down on the end. So I'm pretty sure those were ones I bought. I'm having a hard time remembering, and they don't have a tag. Sometimes I'm not great at that, but I don't know what's up with that. Could be that it's in a high tunnel, so the humidity's kind of high in here. Kind of a bummer. If anybody has any thoughts as to what they think is going on there. I was wondering if it's some sort of like fungus or something, but I'm not seeing any other signs of that. I don't know. And down here are the Romanesco broccolis or cauliflowers that have the cool spirals, and I'm very excited for these. None of these are heading yet, but the plants all look really nice. I have always taken brassicas as such a gamble anyway, that I never have super high hopes. Isn't that wild? Like, about all this growing, but anytime a brassica does not produce, I'm always like, whatever, because I never had super high hopes. I don't buy a ton of started brassica plants. Occasionally I'll grab a few when I see them at a local nursery where they're cheap. I never buy like the big name brands where it's like $6 for a 6-pack. I'm not going to spend that much for brassicas because you just never know what the weather's going to do in the winter. And if you're growing in a mild place like this, you may end up with a great harvest, or you may not. And a lot of places, brassicas in the fall or the spring can have really bad pest issues. And people ask me like, how do you grow brassicas so well? And I'm like, honestly, my approach to brassicas is healthy soil and low expectations. I don't know. I mean, like, I would say every year about 80% of what I grow produces. The first couple years it was more like 30% of what I grew produced. Really nailing in the right time of year has been the most important thing. I know that's very vague information and not very helpful, but it is the truth. I think baby Brussels sprouts are probably the cutest vegetable. Look at them. So sweet and wee. I do really love having a green place to go on the farm during the winter. This is spinach. I'm excited for that. Hello, birds. They come running whenever I come out of the high tunnels because I usually bring them snacks. If I had a longer zoom lens, I would show you guys the great blue heron. He's over on the other bank of the pond. He flies over. When we first moved here, everybody was like, you gotta get that bird off your pond, it'll eat all your fish. And he's been here the whole time that we've lived here, and we still have fish, so I think we're coexisting all right. Hi Toby, I didn't see you there.
Hi.
You just hanging out?
Yeah, just chilling.
Just chilling?
Thinking about nothing.
Thinking about stuff?
Nothing.
Oh, nothing. Just enjoying nice empty brain space, huh? Well, you look pretty cool standing there like that. I was just parking the side by side under the shark tank. Yeah, so it doesn't get rained on. That way it'll be dry. I was gonna go out and look at the sheep. You wanna go?
Sure.
Look at those bellies hanging low, especially over there on the far right. I don't see anybody who has a full udder yet, though.
I see kind of an udder on that one.
Yeah, they've all got a little bit, but we're looking for them to be like filled up. Hey, Fernie.
He runs with us on the zip line.
Yeah, you want to show everybody that?
Sure.
That's so funny. Fern's
right behind you.
Yeah, I see her. Fern plays with the boys while they're on the zip line. The other day I watched them out my kitchen window, and the boys were all taking turns, and Fern ran back and forth with the zip line for at least 25 minutes. I mean, her udder was kind of full. It was evening. She's flopping around and just going. Jersey, like any cows running is the funniest thing, 'cause they're not graceful creatures, but it's cute. Oh, she's not doing it. That was anticlimactic. Toby wants to try again. The kids have played on this a lot. Well, you got Carol's attention. You just not feeling it today? Too cold for all that nonsense? I mean, I don't blame you. Toby said Fern ran in Dad's Shark Tank video when he put it on his channel, so. Hey, Carol. Hey, cutie girl. Oh. She's like, I wanted you to pet me, not play with me.
Come on.
Fern is a sweetheart. She's feisty. Oh, Zucchini. Did you want to say hi? Look at that beautiful sky as the sun starts to set a little bit. All right, guys. Well, we're going to go inside. Oh, Carol is getting it. She's running around. We're going to go inside. I got to cook dinner, and it's starting to get really cold out here, so I'm going to go into my nice warm house. Thank you guys for hanging out with us today. We bless you. Until next time.